Hi Daniel, how you doing? I have been looking at your work for a minute now, and I've got some comments and some recommendations. This has turned out just beautifully, and it really has, and I think that your hard work has definitely paid off here, and the work is real good, real good. Branding is solid. This is really easy to remember. I think there's some things we can do that will really push this over the top, but in terms of memorability and presentation. But let's talk about the card, okay? Okay, you have Daniel Tellis design. Well, take a look at that right there. Let me just pull a guide out here. We can see what I'm talking about. We'll just drop a guide right there, and we can see that that N is just out of alignment enough to cause a little bit of visual discomfort. I'm a designer. I saw it immediately, but it's most people, if they don't see it, it's going to register subconscious. So it's something that I would highly recommend. Let's take a look at this guy down here. Yeah, here you definitely see it right there. Let me pull a guy down, right, drop it right there. You can see it's just out of alignment a little bit, that end. So I would definitely pull that down. It's going to really, really clean things up. I recommend doing that. Okay, you're not going to like this, but I would get rid of this red line right here. I think it's not serving any purpose. It's tapering down here, and these 2 points that fit together are just not going to reproduce well, specifically that real narrow point right there. And it's not really serving any functional purpose other than boxing things in, and I don't think you want that. I recommend removing that vertical rule right there. I think you've got a nice continuation here, the red, and then the way that the red continues right up through here and then through the name and then in the back. But when you remove this line, I'm going to go ahead and recommend you take that whole text block down and align it with the tip of the pencil or the bottom of the D, whichever way you want to look at it. Okay, let's go to the back of the guide. This doesn't fit, Daniel. It just does not fit. This doesn't look like. This guy right here does not look like this guy right here. This guy right here looks like a very, very controlled, very precise designer. This guy right here looks a little wacky and a little bit, these letters, the way that they're presented, it makes them look like kind of almost cartoony, like they're kind of askew and, kind of jumping around the page. And it just doesn't fit this. And this is such a strong branding element. I recommend removing that and rethinking that approach right there. Okay. As far as the letterhead goes, I think the letterhead looks good. Again, I would remove that. Let me get rid of that guide right there. I would take that away, and I don't think you need that guide up, that rule up there either. I think just your title and your logo is going to make just such a clean, versatile page. It's going to be gorgeous. The Daniel Tellis design right here in relationship to the logo is too big. Let's take a look at that card. You can see that relationship right there to that logo is a lot more. The relationship of that type right there to that logo is a lot more comfortable than the relationship of that giant type to that logo. Okay. Let's take a look at the leave behind. Now you've got this, and you've got it set on a 45-degree angle or whatever that angle is. And the point is why? You haven't done it anywhere in your branding, right? Why do it now? I would say that would be what we call diluting your branding. And I recommend not doing that. You have not shown this presentation of the logo other than here, but, that's with across the page. And I think that, hopefully you're going to change that. Well, I shouldn't say hopefully. I would recommend changing it. You do whatever you think is your strongest design decisions. But I think that this on the angle right here is just, it hasn't been done before, therefore doing it now would not point to consistency. Don't recommend doing it. Okay, now right here, the work looks fantastic, but you got a chance here to show a real good understanding of designing using a grid. And it's the mini portfolio is such a great way to do that. This is a good idea right here, blowing this up right here to kind of help with the grid a little bit. I think it's a fabulous idea. And it's a really good way to fill up a page, showing different portions of the actual work. So I love it. My only question is this, is watch this, what happens here. Okay, watch the corner of that. And I like using, I'm going to put my cursor right there. And presumably if you're using the same grid, your graphics that are relatively close to this size should fall within the same area, right? But as we can see, they don't. That one jumps over to the side a little bit. That one is implied, so it doesn't matter. This one, see, it's over a little bit. That one is the same. And then that was implied. Okay, so let's do the same thing on the left-hand side. And let's jump down here and say, okay, let's find one of your main, okay, that would be a main block. So I'll put that right there. And we'll go up, and we can see that right there. You're a little bit out of grid alignment, so I don't know how you want to address that. I mean, it's not bad at all. It's just that things like that and that is clearly out of the grid. So you'll definitely want to take a look at that and think about how you might want to address that for your final presentation or your final portfolio. The D, again, no reason for that. I don't think it serves any design function. I really don't. Logo looks fantastic on its own. I think, boy, when you pull that down, that's going to line up so nicely. It's almost, with the shape of the end, and we compare that shape of the end in spatial relationship to the top of the D and just that little bit of misalignment. Boy, is it just exemplified. Exaggerated considerably, as we can see. So, all right, that's what I have. Sorry, I didn't mean to take almost over 6 minutes. But if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to let me know. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is this. Is you've got in the mini portfolio, you've got this nice array. Beautiful array. That's an interesting piece. Then you have this, and that's interesting, okay? But then you go over here, and you have another kind of like airborne kind of military piece. So you've got some good variety going. Keep with it. I would say swap one of these two out for something else of relative interest. That would be, really, really go along with this kind of versatile variety going on here. Okay, instead of having two of the same thing, go ahead and go for some varietal difference. One thing I noticed here is that you've got a duotone on the cover, but the inside you have regular black and white pictures. So I don't know if that's something that you want to look at or if that was supposed to be consistent. But at any rate, okay, that's what I got. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to let me know. Okay, good job. Thank you very much.